After 6 days, almost 5,000 kilometers and 60 hours of pure driving time, I finally made it here to sunny Spain. The plan was to meet up with my friends who flew into Malaga, grab our bikes and then go explore some of the best skate parks in the world. But before we get into the riding, in this video I'm gonna show you what the trip really looked like, where to stay and how to save some of your hard-earned money. So let's go! So I would say that driving through the Baltic states, that was the most boring part of the road. It was just straight roads, nothing really to see, no mountains at all. While doing my research about the toll roads in Europe, I found out that in Latvia and Lithuania, if your car is over 3 tons, you actually have to buy those vignettes. It was 6 and 7 euros in Latvia and Lithuania. It made me drive through them really quick. Good morning, it's 7:30. We are in Marijampolė, Lithuania. Yesterday it started pouring rain and it got so dark that I didn't feel comfortable driving anymore. So now from here it's a 10-hour drive to Germany. So I'm gonna try to make that, and I guess let's get on the way. So in Poland the roads were finally starting to have some elevations, like it was getting more fun to drive. I went to this really huge shopping center and the grocery store there was huge, and it also had the biggest vegan aisle I've ever seen. Like there was so much variety and the stuff was actually cheaper, I think. But in Poland they don't actually use euros, so I think I lost some money there by the exchange, but you could still pay by card, so that was good. So now we made it to Germany and the hills turned to mountains, and that was really testing the capabilities of my van, and I was so happy to see that it can climb. Good night. Day 3 on the road, I think. We are in Germany. Let's see. So a really good tip about Germany was that when you're driving on the highways, the gas prices and everything else is so much more expensive there. If you take a small D route off the main road, gas is gonna be like 60 cents cheaper per liter. So this one time when I had to fill my tank again, I actually saved 36 euros by driving a little off the road and getting gas from a small station. The truck drivers have strict schedules. They can drive for up to 12 hours a day, I think. So they have to take breaks. So like every 10 miles or something there are these truck stops. Most of them seem to be full. Some of them are with gas stations, have places to walk your dogs, eat some food, buy some food, take a shower. In Poland it was pretty warm yesterday, like 22 degrees. But here it's been like 7 to 9 degrees and it's pretty cold. I guess maybe it has something to do with being up in the mountains and it being rainy instead of sunshine, but who knows. Anyways, let's keep going. So I made it to France in the nighttime, but I was really vibing it there because I've studied French for 11 years. So it was a really good experience to finally understand the radios, like trying to understand the songs. The first overnight parking spot turned out to be a graveyard and I didn't feel too good about it. So I kept driving for an hour and I came to this parking spot in Belfort. There's a really fancy public toilet here that's available 24/7, I think. Washes out itself and stuff. But it's so freaking cold here. So in France, I really wanted to avoid the toll roads because there are so many and they're really expensive. I think I saved like 80 to 100 euros and I really wanted to see the country. So I took the like longer roads, like really windy mountainous roads through small villages. I think I saw more cows than I have ever seen in my life. I'm in France and all that I can see is cows. A lot of cows here. It's playing music while I'm fueling. Why is diesel called gasoline and why is it yellow? So fuel has been getting more and more expensive. So a really important thing for when you want to drive through France is to pre-order your Grid Air stickers. So in France and many other European Union countries now, you have these environmental stickers that you have to put on your windshield. And when it comes to France, you really have to pre-order it to your home country or somewhere else outside of the country. And if your car doesn't have the sticker, there's a really good chance that you might get fined for entering the bigger cities. For example, Paris, Marseille, Montpellier. So I really wanted to see Montpellier because I've never been there. Unfortunately, I had to skip the city and just continue my journey. There are a lot of these really adorable, cute little towns. So in France, the truck stops look like this. They're called Airs. Enjoying lunch with a view like this is pretty freaking amazing. But I guess I'll finish this one and get on the road. We gotta make it to Spain as fast as possible. Well, it seems like we made it to the winemaking part of La France. All of a sudden, like the whole nature just changed. All the plants just look different. Like, I think they're like a different color, but a different texture or something. There are these grape plants everywhere. You can see them over there. So I've ended up in a bit of a pickle. I wanted to take pictures, videos of the huge mountainside here. So I took this small road off my main road, and turns out that it's very narrow. It can fit only one car pretty much. It's very steep. I have no idea how long it takes to get up there. I think I'm gonna have to turn around. And as you know, my van is not the smallest one, so let's give it a go. That was one of the freakiest driving experiences I've ever had. We freaking made it to Spain. And we're still alive. I was so sure I was gonna get some scratches on my van and stuff. We're gonna keep going. So I finally made it to La Poma bike park in Barcelona, which is one of the biggest and most amazing bike parks I've ever seen. There's just about everything. Like there's a foam pit, a resi box, an enormous airbag lander, pump tracks, a concrete skate park. It's not free though, and not that cheap either. I think it was like 15 to 20 euros or something like that. But unfortunately I missed out on riding there myself because on the day I started my trip, I actually installed my new frame and I messed up the headset. On the very first jump that I did, I realized my headset had come loose. I tried to tighten it, it came loose again on the next jump. And then I spent like an hour or two trying to fix it. I eventually got it fixed, but it was already too dark to ride. The next morning they were closed and I really had to get back on the road and get to Malaga. It also turned out that Barcelona is really bad for van life because it's really dangerous there. There are a lot of break-ins. So like every spot in the app Park for Night said not to park there because it's too dangerous. So yeah, I really didn't want to stay in Barcelona. So because there are so many cars in Spain, they have these environmental rules there again. They also have these stickers that you need to put on your car. But for Barcelona, and I think for Madrid as well, you actually need to fill another application form to drive there. And that's also something you should do before you start driving from your home country, just to be sure you can get it in time, because it might take a few days. It's pretty interesting how different small things such as getting gas can be. Like for example in Estonia, most of the gas stations don't even have employees anymore. Like they're just automatic. You can swipe your card and fill your tank. In France it was pretty much the same, like it was even more modern. But in Germany and Poland you still had to fill up and then go to the gas station to pay at the register. But in Spain it seems like you have to go to the register, pay there first, so you can't really fill the whole tank without losing any money. So it's kind of weird. But anyways, let's keep going. So if you're doing van life in Europe, I really recommend getting the Park4Night app, and especially the paid version, which is like 10 euros a year or something. The app shows you motorhome parks, places to park for the night, where to dump your grey and black water, where to get fresh water, and so on. And if you have the paid version, you can filter them. So if you're in a rush and really need to dump your grey water, for example, you can just filter the places and see where the closest ones are. And because people like to leave reviews there, you know which sites are good, which sites to avoid really. This one section of the road in Spain got really desert-like. I didn't really feel like stopping at all because I was afraid that maybe my car won't start again and I will get stuck there in the desert. On the last stretch to Malaga, I saw this really epic sunset. Like, I think I've never been that close to the sun before. It was just enormous there in the sky, like peeking through the clouds. It was heavenly, you know. So the night before arriving to Malaga, I was sleeping in the parking lot of this hotel. There was a really beautiful view there as well, out of the back of my van. So the first thing that I did when I arrived in Malaga was look for a car wash. The van was just super filthy from all the driving. Like, just one wash wasn't enough to get the dirt off. We have finally made it. Pretty much 60 hours on the road. The boys will be here in 6 hours. So crazy, so freaking crazy. And that was only the beginning of the trip really. So now we're gonna go ride and have some fun. See ya.